She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, and welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope that today is going to bless you beyond what you even expected. You know, you've heard the statement that success is a journey, not a destination. Yeah. Sometimes that relieves some of us. Some of us, it drives us crazy that it can't just be this thing that we accomplish. Have you ever accomplished a really big goal and then lost it? I've learned something recently that has been quite shocking and a bit daunting. Yeah, I'd say daunting for sure. It kind of has upset me just a little bit, actually. And here's what it is. Okay, well, if you've been kind of on this journey with us, you know, over the last 6-8 months or whatever, you've heard me talking a lot about health, right? And the older that we get, the more our health seems to go away, right? You know, joints start hurting, your back starts hurting, you start walking funny. You all of a sudden have like 3 extra layers of coating of fat on your belly and on your butt and on your thighs, you know, even on your arms, like this, you know, there's stuff growing everywhere, right? Your chin begins to fall, your eyes begin to sag, your skin looks like you had major acne in high school and you were picking at it constantly, so your pores are enormous, right? You know, and then you've got these white hairs coming out of your other hairs. You know what I'm saying? So these things happen, right? So, you know, I started on this whole journey of I want to be better at 50 than I was at 40. And so I made a radical change. And it turns out that I've read, okay, yes, it only takes 21 days, you know, for a habit to change, you know, 60 days for it really to be solidified. And then I read and heard about this most recent study. It's not a recent one. It's actually the full truth of actually changing a bad habit. It takes 8 years. It takes 8 years, right? Because you and I have done things for 3 weeks before, and then we totally like abandon it, even though it was good, even though it was healthy, even though it was awesome, right? It could have been a business habit that we're like, okay, I'm going to look at my goals every day, twice a day for 21 days, and I'm going to have the habit all of a sudden for the rest of my life. Baloney. It doesn't work that way. It takes 8 years of practicing a particular habit, whether it's a character issue, a financial issue, a health issue, a marriage issue, 8 years before we actually really do change and that it's a part of us then. It's more than 21 days. I think all of us know that it's more than 21 days. That's how you start a new habit. But that's not how you were able to maintain it. So again, I came to this place where, okay, for years I've been able to lose and gain 20 pounds, no problem, always staying in the same size. However, the older that you get, the same 20 pounds looks different. It does, just because we lose a lot of muscle. Now, today's show is not about health. It's about you defining success for you. And it's about maintaining success. Yeah. That's actually part of success, is maintaining it. So what I realized with this one new goal that I'd started, I was a fitness atheist, and then I became an activist, like kind of overnight. I was a fitness atheist for 30 years, and I read this book that just massively transformed my whole fitness life, health life, all of it. And in that, I reached my goal very, very quickly. And boy, did I look better than I did 10 years ago and even 20 years ago. My physical body adapted really, really fast to this new way of eating and understanding of nutrition and micronutrients and what to do physically. And then I realized I have to maintain this. And I found that to be true about a lot of things, right? We start a new habit with how we're going to treat our spouse. And we can do it for like 3 weeks and then we stop. So we have some success and then we stop. People pay off debt and then they go back into debt. People save money and then they spend it all. You know what I'm saying? They have some incredible time in their life and they're happy and they're doing some great things. And then they go back to depression. What about those that go through treatment programs, right? They go through treatment programs to get off of drugs or alcohol or pornography or whatever the addiction, gambling or work or whatever the addiction is, food. And they go through that treatment program and they have some success for a couple of years. And then some of them, a certain percentage of them, go right back to the very habits in which they were practicing before. Why? It takes 8 years. It literally takes 8 years of maintenance before it becomes a part of you. So we're going to talk about that today. Part of success is maintaining the success that you've already gained. And during the maintenance phase, you don't achieve anything. So let's just use losing weight as the example, right? When you're losing weight and you're trying to get fit, you're counting your body fat, right? You're watching the scale every week drop if you have weight to lose, or if you're trying to lose body fat and you're trying to gain muscle, then it's not so much the scale that matters, but it's you doing your body fat testing, getting your body fat tested each week or whatever, right? So you're getting to watch the numbers move. You're like, yes, okay. Let's say it's in business. Let's say it's in sales, and so all right, so you made 100 calls and you were able to get a hold of 10 people, and out of 10 people, 5 you actually engaged in a conversation with, and 1 ended up buying something from you. So you're watching those numbers, right? But in the phase of maintenance of success, that's when the numbers don't necessarily move. That's when the numbers stay the same. So you kind of lost your motivation, if you will. The number is no longer motivating you because now the goal has changed, and that is to keep the number the same. So you don't have the same fervor and excitement. You're not being encouraged every week when the scale is dropping or the body fat percentage is dropping, or that you're making the same amount of sales. It's like, it's no fun anymore. In the sales department, you actually get like bored. It's like, my sales are the same. It's boring. And maintenance definitely is boring. But I have to tell you that maintaining success is just as important as achieving it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And see, some people are so addicted to achieving things that they live their life on a roller coaster. They're so addicted to achieving success. They lose the weight. They increase their sales. They pay off the debt. And because they don't have the skill of maintenance, they don't have the mindset, the strategic mindset of setting things up to where it flows automatically and maintains it, they self-sabotage themselves, gain all the weight back, go back into debt and even more, have their sales drop back into the toilet so that they can have the feeling, the rush, almost the IV of meth or heroin. They want the rush of being able to overcome again. And why? Because they didn't set that next goal of maintenance. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because you're defining success for you. And whatever it is that you put on your board of what you want to achieve this year, you better have another step after that. And it has to be, how long will you maintain that success? How will you? What is your plan for doing that? So I began to read books about that. Like, how do I maintain this goal? Because I'm not good at maintaining it. I'm good at achieving it, but I'm not good at keeping the weight off. I'm not good at maintaining this scale staying the same thing. In fact, I'm terrible at that. I'm the up and down, up and down, up and down. And I slowly go up and down, slowly up, slowly down. But that's not maintenance. So what about you? How do you maintain your success, or do you need a maintenance plan? We asked this question on Facebook, and we're first going to go to the phones. We've got Ashley Martz, a faithful listener of the Dani Johnson Show, and also a friend on Facebook from Michigan. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
Good. So what about you? How do you find the maintenance part?
I suck at it. If I had to be totally honest.
You know what? Honesty is the beginning of success right there. Mm-hmm. It's the beginning of change, of just going, man, I don't know how to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do about that?
Well, I went to First Steps to Success in Orlando with my husband. So that was really eye-opening. I have realized that I have no vision, and so I have no baby step goals to strive for. Yeah. I've really struggled with every single category you were just talking about, but specifically weight. I was a college athlete, and I never had to try, ever. Yeah. And then I had 2 kids, and it has been a roller coaster ever since then. It's been really hard.
Yep. So you know how to lose weight. Mm-hmm. Yep. You just don't know how to keep it off. Right. Okay, so one of the things that's important, that in fact, for learning to maintain any success in any area of your life, is to look at, okay, after you achieve your success, what then have you done in the past that led you back down to the failure?
Well, if we were talking weight specifically, I hit my goal, and, I'm really excited, so I do something to celebrate, even if it's just something really small, like buy a new shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, well, I'm already there, so I'll just maintain it. I can cheat here and there. I can slack off here and there. I don't need to work out every single day.
So you start to change the plan. You change your plan that brought you success.
Yeah.
Right? And the plan that you then change it to. So again, number one key for learning maintenance and getting good at maintenance is to identify how you failed in the maintenance category before. And so number one is to identify it. Okay, so what were the actions that I took after I lost all my weight last time? So what was the action that you took?
After I lost the weight, I started eating sugar again.
Yep. So the very places that you were disciplined in, you gave up discipline in those areas.
Yep.
Right? So you started eating the very things that made you gain weight before.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you tell me, what do you think the solution is on how to, you already know how to lose weight. I don't have to tell you about how to do that. But what would you say would be the wise thing to do in maintaining your weight?
Stick to what I know works rather than it's just lazy. I feel like it's just laziness. I don't know.
No, it means that you didn't have a goal to maintain. You just had a goal to lose. You didn't have a goal to maintain.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So then you got to have what the next goal is. So it's like, okay, I'm going to lose 30 pounds and I'm going to maintain these 30 pounds for the next 10 years. Or the next 5 years, or the next 12 months. Do you know what I mean? And then what is my plan, right? Because when it came time to lose weight, you're like, I need to lose 30 pounds. What is the plan I'm going to use to lose weight? So now it is the next goal, and instead of not having a goal at all, the next goal is, what's my maintenance plan? How will I maintain this weight? So then it is what? Okay, so am I going to be as strict? Okay, so rather than 2 cheat meals a week, I'm going to have 3. Cheat meals a week. That should help me maintain. Rather than working out 6 days a week, I'm going to see what happens if I work out 5. And you watch the scale. And the scale will tell you if working out 5 days a week and having 3 cheat meals a week is good enough to maintain your weight. The same exact way on how you lost it is the same exact way with small adjustments, not big adjustments. The big adjustments was, forget it, I'm not working out anymore. Forget it, I'm going to go back to sugar. That's a huge adjustment, right? Yeah. So when we don't have a goal that follows up the first goal, we end up failing all over again. So part of maintenance is taking one step in the right direction to what the next goal is and having a vision that's bigger than the first goal. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
You achieved a big goal. Congratulations. Next, Dani will show you the secret to maintaining it that most people never learn. Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
We've all achieved a goal, and then we got a little lax, we got a little lazy, we just kind of pulled back a little. We felt like we didn't have to be as disciplined. Even though it took great discipline to be able to achieve the goal, it took focus to achieve the goal. Somehow we think that we're going to maintain that level of success, whether it be paying off debt, growing our income, growing our sales, having a more passionate marriage, losing weight. We think that somehow when we change the success strategy, that somehow we're supposed to keep the success that we had. It's impossible. Self-discipline, there's something you have to know. You're going to have to use it for the rest of your life if you want to maintain success. Self-discipline and that commitment and the habits that you form from self-discipline, those things, it is a muscle. It is something that you want to practice for the rest of your life. It is something that you want to engage in a really intimate relationship with for the rest of your life. Why? Because it's impossible to have long-lasting success without it. And that place that we lack self-discipline bleeds into other areas of our life. So if we can master self-discipline, we can accomplish anything. There's really nothing that we cannot do. So we're talking about not achieving a goal, but maintaining the success that we got. Going over to Ingrid from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Dani.
Welcome to the show. Hi. So what about you? How are you in the maintenance category?
I'm okay.
Okay, tell me about it. How are you able to do that?
Okay, no, first of all, you lifted an elephant off my shoulders, because now I would have said before, no, I'm not fine. The thing is that I have been making small changes that I have been able to keep for the last year.
Yes.
So I kind of felt guilty that I wasn't achieving as much success as other people because I'm not going so fast.
No.
But it's like...
Speed is not the deal. It's accuracy. It's finishing. You see, lots of people go after things fast and they quit before they finish. Mm-hmm. But when you take small steps in the right direction at a pace in which you can maintain for a long time, that is when you have long-lasting success and you cross the finish line and other people don't.
Yeah.
So good job.
I guess celebrating. Like we're a family of 7. We have 5 kids, and when I tell everybody that we're spending $140 on groceries every time we go by, nobody gets it. And I guess I don't pat myself in the back and say, yes, we've been doing that for the last year. That's great.
Wow.
So
celebrating those successes is what you're saying. That's another key to maintaining that success, right? So you've been consistent for a year. You obviously got a hold of War on Debt, where I talk about feeding your family according to $20 per week per person for food. And that's what I did raising my kids. And we were a family of 7 also. And so you learned that skill and you've implemented it. And so it's important, the baby step, and then celebrating the steps that you're doing right. And then
we used to
go ahead.
I'm sorry. We used to feel guilty if we go to the store and then it was like $150, and I felt guilty, like, oh my God, I didn't stay on track.
Right.
But then I heard you give the strategy that you only went with $100 to the store, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I got the information, and then that's what I do now.
That's awesome.
Now we're able to stay at a 140 because we had the strategy, we had the how to.
the simple how-to of don't bring more than $140 to the store with you. That's like so simple. Okay, well, I'm not going to the store with a credit card because a credit card has no limit to what I can spend on it, right? But this way, that simple little strategy. Here's the other thing that I see that you've done is you've stayed engaged on the goal. So it wasn't that you learned a strategy once and going, okay, all right, man, I was told I'm supposed to only spend this much on food if I want to pay off all our debt and we want to be more responsible. So then it's like, oh, okay, well, gosh, man, I keep messing it up by $10. But you stayed engaged, you stayed connected, you stayed learning. And when you keep learning and you stay engaged, then you pick up the next answer. The next strategy. As soon as you stop engaging yourself in the material of what you want to maintain in your life, that's when you lose sight of the goal. That's where you find excuses instead of results. And that's where you don't maintain the success that you've already gotten, but slowly but surely. Because you have to know, that's how it starts, right? It starts from $140 to then $150 a week, and then it's $160 a week, and then it's $200 a week, and then it's $300 a week, right? It just slowly creeps when we don't stay focused and we don't stay engaged.
So good. Yeah, and it takes 8 years for that habit. 8
years for that habit, exactly. And not one day. It takes 8 years before you don't even have to think about that anymore. Just like you don't have to think about brushing your teeth. You know how to do it.
So good.
And you do it well. Yes. So that kind of takes pressure off, too. It's like, okay, I got 8 years of screwing up. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this, which is awesome. This is so awesome. So, Ingrid, thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate that. And congratulations on maintaining the success of, again, learning how to budget, learning how to take more control over your finances and paying off debt. I absolutely love it. Great job. By the way, how much debt have you paid off in the last year?
Right now, like $6,000.
$6,000 worth of debt you paid off in the last 12 months. You could have been $6,000 more in debt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So proud of you. Step by step by step.
After attending First Steps to Success back in January with my husband. We had zero money. We had the exact amount, $1,600 in our bank account. And I said, one day I got up hyperventilating, and it was just God saying, you have to go see Dani Johnson. And I told my husband, we got to go. And he said, all right. I said, it's booked. And we went. It's like the best thing we could have done.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, Mama. So proud of you. You're doing a great job. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
Go to DaniJohnson.com to find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
So 4 years ago in July, we showed up to our first Dani Johnson event, our first Steps to Success. And we were completely desperate in every area of our life. At the time, I thought it was just because of our finances, but then I figured out pretty quickly that it was because of my lack of people skills that we were where we were. We sat in the front row. We got fast track, and we sat in the front row right in the center next to some amazing people because we were so hungry, so desperate, so broken, and I pretty much cried through the entire event, honestly. And when she did the War on Debt, which she will show you, this afternoon, I went back immediately and got it. She had just started talking. I heard a couple stories, and I was like, if they can do it, I know we can do it. So we went back and got it and listened to it on the way home in the car, because we drove from Michigan all the way to Missouri. So we listened to it in the car, and when we got home, we immediately got our papers out. We wrote down our plan, and we started applying it. And within 14 months, we paid off over $62,000 worth of debt. We never in a million years thought that was possible. There's so much that has happened in the last 4 years. And I'm the person that wants the results immediately. I don't like the process of getting there. I want to just get there. But I've learned to appreciate the process over the last 4 years and just seeing the transformation that has happened in us. Personally, we individually experienced different things, and we experienced a lot of things together. I was paying our bills. I was completely disrespectful to my husband and didn't really know how bad it actually was. And so that part of our life is still improving. I can say we're a work in progress. It takes time, and we have grown so much.
We showed up. My wife, I didn't know this at the time, but she was battling thoughts of suicide. I had no idea. I thought I was being a perfectly good husband. I did my best to serve her, be a great guy. But what she needed was somebody who would step up and be a leader in our marriage. That's not who I was. And I was totally emasculated, physically emasculated by, there was someone in our church, the pastor, and so we felt the brokenness of a church, having to leave and just hurt, and devastated. One of the biggest breakthroughs started in our marriage is when Lucy started being a wife to me. And I, as a leader, I should step up, right? Take action first, be the initiator. She did it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a completely different person. And I can tell you, our marriage has just, it's amazing the difference between her feeling suicidal, me stepping down as a leader, to me taking the initiative and just looking her in the eyes and saying, honey, thank you for allowing me to be your leader. And she just melts every time. This is awesome. So. So let me just tell you this, guys. If you're struggling or you're broke, you're wondering what your next step is, hey, just take action. Follow those notes that you just took. Take action and do it, because your story is going to be here, and people are going to be inspired by your story. So are you all ready to take notes? All right, let's do this. Help me welcome Miss Dani Johnson, America's favorite millionaire, to the stage.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So you might be in that situation where you probably aren't even setting goals anymore. You probably are just so discouraged because you set it, you achieved it, it wasn't worth it, and you just forgot about it, you disengaged with it, and you're like, forget it, man, it's too much work. I promise you it's not. Maybe you needed to adjust your timeline, and maybe you needed a plan for after you achieved your goal. The worst thing about achieving a goal is not having the next one to go after. The other thing that's so important once you've achieved a goal is, yes, to celebrate, pat yourself on the back for all the small steps that you took to be able to achieve that. But also what's really important is don't camp out there and don't change your strategy. You can't go backwards after you have climbed that mountain. You got to climb the next mountain. And sometimes there's a valley in between both. There's usually a going down before you get to the next up. But it's also having the right attitude of that in the down part, which to me is the maintenance part of your success, because it took discipline to get it. It took commitment to get it. It took engaging with other people. It took talking about the goal. It took letting other people talk about a similar goal, surrounding yourself with even other people that have the same mindset, surrounding yourself with other people who had a similar vision or similar goal or dream, or maybe that they'd already accomplished it, engaging with other people who've already accomplished the very thing that you want to accomplish. As soon as you disengage from those conversations, your commitment level begins to die. I got to read you this incredible quote that my coworker Mary found. It's by Bryant McGill, and it says this, who I have no idea who that is. But enthusiasm is the energy and force that builds literal momentum of the human soul and mind. Enthusiasm, which the root word of that whole word is enthusias, which is a Greek word, means to be God-like. And staying engaged and keeping the conversation going of what your goal is. Again, if it's losing weight, engage with other people who've already lost weight and those who are on the journey. If it's paying off debt, engage in conversation with other people who are already debt-free and or who are on the journey of paying off their debt as well. If the goal is increasing your sales or increasing your closing ratios, then engage with people who have already done it and are experts at it, and also engage with those who are working on the same exact goal. If you don't keep that engagement involved, you will not get the thing that you so desperately want to have. And once you get there, you got to have what the next step is. And for me, after taking my body fat from 27% down to 13.5%, it took a lot of engagement. It took a lot of conversating. It took a lot of reading books. Tom Venuto's book, my absolute favorite for health and nutrition and weight loss and fitness and getting truly healthy, the full part of it, Tom Venuto's book. Which is The Body Fat Solution, and also his other book, Burn the Fat and Feed the Muscle. Okay, that was engagement in there, keeping that conversation going in my head, talking to my husband, talking to my friends about it, recruiting other friends to, come on, guys, the older we're getting, the wider we're getting, the more unhealthy we are. We've got a big goal here. We've got a purpose here. We've got a lot of lives to change. We've got a lot of orphans to feed. We cannot afford to be sick and unmotivated because of how we're treating our bodies. So recruiting a cloud of witnesses, if you will, that you're committed to, and they are committed as well. This helps you to succeed. But in that maintenance stage, that's where you start to get a little lazy, a little lax. You start having a little more parties. You start putting more things in your mouth that you shouldn't. You start finding reasons not to work out. And then you got to start all over again. And that just stinks, man. It absolutely stinks. It stinks to have to restart. So we're talking about your success, but more importantly, maintaining that success. Yes. And maintaining it at a pace that you can do it for the long haul. Don't give yourself timelines to where you're going to burn yourself out just to climb to the top of the mountain. Do it at such a pace that you know you can continue with those same exact practices, those same disciplines, those same habits that you form to achieve it, and you keep it going. So that's how you maintain success, is you keep it going. You have to have what that next goal is. But in the case of losing weight, you can only lose so much, right? In the case of losing body fat, you should only lose so much of that. You can get unhealthy if you are too lean. In the case of paying off debt, okay, well, then you finished paying off all your debt. And what I've watched people do is go into further debt. So, and why? Because they don't have another goal. So in the case with your debt, then it's like, okay, I want to pay off all my debt. But then what? Then what is, I'm going to use the same exact practices and skills that I used, that I learned from War on Debt, to now build wealth at an accelerated rate, right? So what does that look like? In 5 to 7 years, including your mortgage, all of your debt can be completely paid off. So it also means using the same exact strategy. Within 5 to 7 years, using the same strategies, you can create wealth. Wow. But if you don't have those goals, and you're not engaged in a community of people, and you're not learning constantly on a weekly basis, keeping the skill sets fresh, keeping the vision fresh, and you're not conversating about it, you're not talking about it, you're not focused on it, in the next 5 to 7 years, you're going to have twice as much debt. And the next 5 and 7 years after that, even 3 times more debt. And no wealth. So we're talking about maintenance. We're talking about your success, because here on the Dani Johnson Show, we are about you being equipped to succeed wildly on the home front and in the marketplace. Miranda is calling in from Alaska. Miranda, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. So how are you with maintaining success, and what area of your life do you want to talk about?
What area? If we're talking about health and fitness, I do pretty well with that normally. But right now I have like really overwhelming odds, and for the whole year 2016, I pretty much gave up on it.
Why?
The overwhelming odds, I have my in-laws that we are living with, and I know you shouldn't do the blame game, but they are 98%ers. They're the.
Can I ask you a question?
Is a narcissist.
And what does that have to do with your personal health? What does that have to do with what you personally put in your mouth? And what does that have to do with what you personally do physically with your body?
I have zero independence, and I'm treated like a child.
So do you have a bedroom that you have?
Yes.
And is there a floor next to the bed?
Yes.
Do you know how to do push-ups? Sit-ups and squats?
Yep.
And? Can you jog in place in your bedroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our food, that's an area that we can't take care of.
So can you choose to move out of this house?
that's the struggle.
No, it's not a struggle. It's a choice. It's a choice to stay there, and or whatever the food is that they're choosing to purchase, you have a choice of how much or how little you put in your mouth, and whether or not you put some of those things in your mouth. Isn't that correct?
I do, with a lot of consequences.
That you choose to eat what you choose to eat?
Yes, and I do stand up and share my voice, like, I won't eat that. And I'm going to go.
Do you even have to say you don't want to eat that?
Sometimes.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to say, I'm not going to eat that. Don't draw any attention to what you're choosing to eat. And you know how to count calories if you said that you know fitness and you know health.
Yes. Then
whatever it is that's in front of you, you eat it according to the calories that you choose to eat. Every single one of the boxes of the prepackaged foods that they're buying has all the calories listed, does it not? So really what's going on, Miranda, is you are playing the blame game. And you are also labeling people that are kind enough to let you live in their house and are kind enough to pay for the food. And you're using their choices as an excuse for you to stay where you're at and to not have the success that you want. You have 100% control over what you put in your mouth and what you do with your physical body. So I think number one, it's go to those people that are giving you the chance to live there and say, thank you so much for everything you're providing for me. And I've had a really bad attitude about it. And it's wrong and it's evil. And I have taken for granted how you have helped me. And I'm going to stop doing that today. So thank you. And I appreciate all that you're done.
Okay.
And you need to stop. Look, let me take you to Nicaragua with me. And let me take you to the dump site where families are having to feed off of the chicken that you don't want to eat. Feed off the stovetop stuffing that you don't want to eat. They're digging out of the trash to feed their family. They don't have a house. They don't have a bed. They're sleeping on a dirt floor. Dirt, that's the floor, meaning the earth. They're sleeping on the earth, not on a bed. They don't have a room. They're surrounded by family who is suffering and who are sick. Lice-filled heads, mosquito bites. Man, I saw one little kid that had at least 100 mosquito bites on him because they have no protection at all from the elements that are surrounding them. If you were actually to go sit in that place, you'd be so very grateful for the place that you're living and the fact that other people are willing to let you live in their house and willing to feed you. You're in control of what you put in your mouth. You're in control of whether or not you count those calories. You don't have to count the calories in front of them. You can be helping them, and you can be getting out of bed and doing 30 minutes of plain old calisthenics that you learned in the 2nd grade. It's really all any of us need to do. So Miranda, it's your choice. You can keep focusing on the narcissist person that you think, whether, I don't know, are you a psychologist?
No.
Okay, so have you tested the person?
I've read up on it.
Oh, but hold on a second. Are you a trained professional, a trained psychologist that knows how to test someone to see if they are a narcissist?
No.
No. So you have no business labeling somebody else. It's okay that you don't agree with them. It's okay that you don't like them. But it's not okay for you to label them and treat them as though they are what you think you are based on your very limited amount of information on something that is a very, very serious matter. So if that is the case, and you think it's all about them, well, then you better make it all about them. Make it all about them and serve them because they're serving you. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
When we come back, Dani will share the one habit that kills success every time. Do you do it? Find out next on The Dani Johnson Show. Go to DaniJohnson.com to find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was working 60 to 75 hours a week. I was completely stressed out. I was incredibly angry with my husband. We were in over $350,000 worth of debt. By applying the strategies that Dani teaches, in the last 3.5 years, we have paid off $170,000 in debt. We are no longer roommates, and we no longer spend every single cent that we make. We now have made tens of thousands of dollars in passive income in investments. We are on the right track. We're traveling around the world together, and we are building homes for those who really need it. So I don't know about you, but if you want to cut back from 60 to 20 and 30 hours a week, if you want to mend some relationships, if you want to make your life more efficient and a lot more fun, and you want to be the best version of you, I highly recommend that you get registered because your life is about to change.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, first steps to success in creating dynasty, my wife and I were really lost. We were struggling in a relationship. We were struggling financially, drowning in debt. Our relationship was really broken. We were in a bad place. We were living in two completely different states and not really honoring each other. Once we got plugged into the community, we noticed a shift in our lives. Most importantly, we came together as a husband and wife. That was the first thing we did. And when we finally came together under the same roof, things started to change. Over the past 3 years, we've been able to pay off over $495,000 in debt. I know my business, I've had a job created for me that increased my income by 50%. That has actually opened up the door to allow my wife and I to spend more time with each other. So I don't know where you are. I don't know if your relationship is super awesome. I don't know if your job is immaculate. I don't know if you're debt-free. But what I do know is if you're not any one of those things, your next step is to get plugged into DaniJohnson.com, go on the website, get plugged into the community. I promise you, your life will never be the same.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a broke college student, drowning in debt, and I felt like the world was crashing all around me, and I had bad relationships. Since plugging into DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, I was able to pay off $6,600 in 4 months. Now I'm able to give 10% of my income to wherever my heart desires. I actually, using the skills that I learned from Dani, I actually landed a job before I graduated college. And I'm able to travel the world. All I know is if you're serious about annihilating your debt, traveling the world, helping people, and having fun doing so, I highly recommend you get registered for the next First Steps to Success. Do it now, don't wait, don't even thinking about it. If you're ready to change your life, just do it.
We went to our first ever First Steps to Success just 10 weeks ago, and it has definitely been life-changing ever since.
We felt like we got hit by a 2x4, but it was the best 2x4 because what we realized is that our priorities were clearly out of line. I had been building a home-based business and had been working 80 to 100 hours, and I realized that that is not my role, and that I had actually taken my husband's, and it was that realization that something had to change, and we immediately went home and changed everything. There was no hesitation. We said, you know what, we need to be obedient to God.
And we've implemented the tools day one. We started implementing what Dani taught us, invested in ourselves, invested in our kids, got our priorities in line. We've now actually paid off just not quite $60,000 in debt and looking at a couple more investments here as head of the household.
It's been absolutely incredible. So I just encourage you, if any of this speaks to you, if you're wanting to get out of debt, if you're wanting better communication, if you're wanting to elevate to the higher level of life, get to First Steps to Success and plug into DaniJohnson.com.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
If you want success in your life, you've come to the right place. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, we're going to show you how to take personal responsibility for everything in your life. And it isn't until you take personal responsibility that you actually have success. I'm not talking about the success that society has sold you that you can buy. Yeah, you can buy a car and make yourself look successful. What about that $40,000 worth of debt that goes with it? Yeah, you could buy a house that makes you look successful. How's that $500,000 mortgage? You can buy jewelry. How's that credit card debt for that? Yeah, you see, society has told you that you can buy success. I'm here to show you how to earn it. Here at the Dani Johnson Show, all of us, this entire team that helps to put this show together, is so committed to you succeeding that we're going to challenge you with strategies, skills. We're going to challenge you with the way you think and how you approach success. So are you blaming people for your lack of success, or are you finding a way? Because where there is a will, there is a way. And you can do anything you choose to learn how to do. You can do anything that you take action on. And you can make things easier on yourself than they actually have to be. We're talking about maintenance of success. Yes, because that is actually a whole nother skill. It's one thing to achieve a goal. It's another thing to maintain that goal. And if we are habitual excusers, excuseaholics. If you maintain the habit of excuses, you will only get the result of excuses, and you will become a victim and miserable and even lead yourself to suicide. But if you have the habit of producing results, there's nothing that can stop you from success. Absolutely nothing can stop you if you have the habit of producing results instead of the habit of producing excuses. We're going over here to Michelle Reynolds. Michelle, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. She's calling in from North Carolina. How are you with maintaining success?
I'm doing pretty well.
Tell me where and how.
I've lost, in the last couple of years, I lost probably about 20 pounds. And I have a 4-year-old, almost 4-year-old, and so after I had him, I wasn't happy with myself or how I looked. We'd go to the beach, and I didn't certainly like wearing a swimsuit, so I decided to do something about it. It took me a little bit to finally do something, but once I did, and they say a habit takes 21 days, and it sure did. I stuck to my program. I stuck to better eating habits, and as I started seeing the weight loss, my self-esteem picked up, started feeling better about myself. And I have young kids. I wanted to be there. I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not young myself, but I want to be there for them. So, I decided I needed to make a change, and I'm going almost 2 years strong every day.
So you've maintained. How have you maintained this 20-pound weight loss?
I stick to my habits. I consistently work out every day. I eat healthy.
So you didn't like use the plan to lose weight, and then you just went, all right, I did it. And then you stopped working out, and then you stopped eating healthy. So you're saying the way that you've maintained this success was by doing the same exact plan that helped you to become successful.
I've changed up my workout plan a few times, but as far as I'm consistent. I work out every day. I eat healthy. It's you have to find a plan and you stick to it.
Yep.
Something that works.
Yep. How have you kept yourself motivated to maintain it, though, Michelle? What was the key to the success of motivating yourself to keep it? Because the scale isn't moving anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel better. I feel fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I look good in my clothes, and I love how I feel, so I don't want to go back there.
Yep. Yep. And that's the why that keeps you focused, is that you love the way it makes you feel. You love the way the clothes feel. You love not hanging over your clothes. You love not hiding during bikini season. You love not hiding every day. Say what?
It's going to be a great summer.
That's right, right? It's like, oh no, summer's coming. I got to lose weight. No, it's like, dude. I'm there. And I feel good walking on that beach next to my husband and my kids looking like I'm 20. Ha! I love it.
Well, yeah.
You go, girl. Thanks for sharing your success. We got Mia from Maryland. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi. So how have you done with maintenance? What's been the key to your success with maintenance?
I have to maintain, otherwise I find my life just spiraling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So being healthy and being happy and being successful, I have to maintain. We were in a very bad place in our life with debt, and it was I was suffocating, and maintaining is like my lifeline. There's nothing else that I can do besides maintain.
So tell us how much debt you've paid off.
$610,000.
Jeez.
And
okay, now in the past, you've paid off debt, and did you go back into debt?
Yeah, we filed bankruptcy twice, as a matter of fact.
And what changed?
We got tired of being sick and tired. We got tired of making money and not having anything. We made, good money, and we were always broke. We were always kind of living a facade, and we really got tired of it. Our children were out of control. Our marriage was out of control, and we just needed a way out. And filing bankruptcy for the third time was not the answer. And we found war on debt, and it was like a lifesaver. It's like someone threw us a raft, and now we could float again. And when we saw the immediate success within the first 2 weeks, there was no turning back. And even now, the days that I try to, get off, it's like, no, because there's so much telling me to get in debt, and I'm going far away from it. Debt to me is like death, and I want to live and I want to be happy. So maintaining that and being debt-free is where I'm focused to.
That's awesome. Okay, so how long have you maintained this paying off debt thing?
We're now at 58 months of maintenance with paying off our debt.
Okay, so tell the person who is listening right now, who's been that person like you guys were, where you declared bankruptcy not once but twice and about to do it again, and now you've had a plan of war on debt and sticking to that plan. What do you say to that person who's been in your shoes in the past where you've paid off, you had to declare bankruptcy twice?
Yeah, I would say there is hope. There is an answer. There is a way out. And you don't have to die being in debt. You don't have to work the rest of your life and be in debt. There is a way out, and it's so much lighter on the other side. Mm-hmm. And there's so many people that will rally around you and want to encourage you to get out of debt and be debt-free, and it's just so lighter. My health is better as a result. Don't give up. Don't quit. Push in. There is a system that works, and you don't have to, succumb to what the government tells you of filing bankrupt.
That's right. That's right. War on debt is a system that she has used. Mia and her husband have used. Over $600,000 worth of debt paid off. They're maintaining this lifestyle of living debt-free, of not going back to the prison and the prison sentence and living in the prison cell where you are just suffocating under this slavery and the bondage of debt that's been sold to us by our society that's told us that's how you become successful, is you finance the look of success. You finance the car that makes you look successful. You finance the house that makes you look successful, the clothes that make you look successful. You finance the kids' education that makes you look successful. None of it is success. It's a prison sentence. It's death. And how they've done it is war on debt. You got to get your copy right now. It's at destinyglobal.com, DaniJohnson.com. Either one of those sites will take you right to War on Debt. Get it now. Don't be foolish. You can have the kind of success that Mia has. And she's helped many other people to have as well. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
Hi, Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Well, listen up. Your success is at the palm of your hands. It's whether or not you will identify what you need to do and you do it. It's really simple. And you have to make sure that after you achieve that first goal, just as what you just heard from Mia, just as what you just heard from many others, is that you have to have another plan in place to maintain it. And you have to have the reason why you want to do that. Why? Why will you maintain that? You know, I've started many different companies, and in my early years, I had some incredible failures, and I'm sure I've got some more failures ahead of me as well. No question. But here's what I do know, is that if you are focused and you stay engaged, you stay plugged in, if you will, to a source and a community and an environment, and you stay plugged into learning what the next step is, and you find what the next system is to help to continue that success and help it moving forward, you're not going to recognize your life. You're not going to recognize you, the people that are around you. You're going to wake up one day and go, man, it worked. This worked. And you'll be so passionate about shouting from the mountaintops, letting other people know, this worked. This is what you just heard Mia. You heard all that passion behind her saying, this worked. And it continues to work. And this is my lifeline. Are you taking advantage of a lifeline? Have you found the raft that's been thrown out before you? It's at destinyglobal.com. Again, that's destinyglobal.com or DaniJohnson.com. That website has the tools to help you get to where you want to go. It does. It has the tools to make debt a thing of your past, a faint memory, and start accumulating wealth, getting your health in order, having that passionate, harmonious marriage, and feeling good about who you are as a parent, knowing that you're not setting your kids up for failure, you're not crippling them, you're not misguiding them, but that you're guiding them in directions maybe that you weren't guided in, that you wished you had been. You're going to learn how to succeed in that career. You're going to learn how to climb each rung of that ladder. You're going to learn how to get more clients if you're a business owner, how to recruit the best possible team possible. Like, how do you recruit the best talent that the best corporations in the world have? How do you get those people? You can learn how to do that right here, listening to the Dani Johnson Show, and on the website, taking advantage of the resources that are available to you, many for free. Become an insider. You get all kinds of more information, and we're going to see you at the next First Steps to Success. It's coming up here real short. Take advantage of those tools that are in front of you so you can sharpen the skills in every area of your life, and you be the one that causes other people to be jealous. Like, I don't want that. Yeah, you do. You don't want to look like everybody else. You want to be that person people, gosh, how did they get that? And they eventually get the courage to ask, will you show me how? And you'll be that person. There's a shining light on the top of a hill for all the world to see, that they will praise your Father in heaven for the good works they see you do. This is Dani Johnson. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please come over to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Dani Johnson Live, and let us know what you thought of the show, or on our website, DaniJohnson.com and DestinyGlobal.com. God bless. We'll see you soon.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.